Welcome to Retro Ordinaire, a trawl through the bottom drawer of entertainment history. My name is Jason Chung. Here is Scott John.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a while since our last one, hasn't it?
Yeah. Are we only doing them every 6 weeks? Is that what we've decided?
It's by half monthly or something. Try half monthly.
Yes. Apologies if you are enjoying
it.
Yes. But, you know, you're probably glad to have a nice little breather between. I certainly am.
Yep. Between the juggernauts of episodes 1 and 2.
Yes. I think I had a nervous breakdown during the preparation of my segment for this one. So
yeah, I heard you gone through your sound cues and not surprised.
Yeah.
This is great. So what are you talking about today?
I'm doing the history of the Birdie Dance, or the Chicken Dance.
Yes.
It's got many names, as we'll find out later.
Just those two, though, really, isn't it?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll find out all about it. You
Das Birden dancen.
You're very close.
Oh, really?
Surprisingly close. Yes. So
Das Chip Boogie.
Yes.
Okay. We also have a segment that we're going to try out. What is it called, Scott?
It's called Celebrity Poetry with Barry White's Love Unlimited Orchestra in the background. Is that a snappy enough title?
Okay, and what is it?
You'll have to find out. I'm not going to explain it.
I'm going to be talking about the 1998 sci-fi classic Mac and Me.
Yes.
Which you've had a bit of a look at as well.
Yeah.
You're frowning.
No, it was painful. A painful experience.
Yes, it was, and I had to watch it twice. So let's.
Did you?
Yep. Let's chat about that next.
All right.
Mac and Me has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
0?
Yeah, that's possible.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and it's warranted in this case. Let me take you back to 1988. In 1982, I think it was, E.T. had been released. Worldwide phenomenon.
Yes.
Classic.
Yes. Excellent film.
And 6 years later, Orion Pictures was like, we got to get some of that.
We got to get some of that action.
Mm-hmm. So they decided to make this horrible movie. It was written and directed by a guy called Stuart Raphael, who would end up winning a Golden Razzie for the worst director for this film. But then, straight after it, immediately redeemed himself with 1991's Mannequin 2 On the Move.
Really?
Yes. And he also wrote 1992's Passenger 57.
2 in 1 year, that's impressive.
What a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Also, early in his career, Raphael was sued by the actual Tarzan of the time, Mike Henry, when a chimpanzee Raphael was supposed to be handling attacked him in 1966.
Quite the illustrious career.
Yeah, so he's done some stuff. So, a producer named R.J. Lewis, who also did The Karate Kid and Ocean's 11, like the more recent one, he was like, I got it. I got the next idea. So he hired a director. Raphael came in and he said, I was just hired out of the blue. The producer asked me to come down to the office, so I did, and he had the whole crew there, the whole crew on the payroll. It was amazing. He had everyone hired, and I said, well, what's the script? And he said, we don't have a script. I didn't like the script. You have to write the script. He sounded very Donald Trump at the moment.
Well, that makes sense because there's not a lot to the script. It will only be a couple of pages.
Well, this could be why. He then went on to say, you're going to have to write it quick, so prep the movie during the week and write the script on the weekends. So for the first week, he was prepping a movie with
no script.
So the story I'm going to go through in a little while, it's
good.
Batshit. Like, it is just nuts.
Yeah.
And it has...
I can't judge the film because I was so bored that I cleaned out my garage while watching it. I just kept bringing boxes in. I had to multitask. I was getting depressed. I was analysing my career moves. It was, it really is the slowest moving movie I've ever seen.
Absolutely. So basically it's a family of aliens, and then they, like, one of them who, meets another human family and hijinks. But the main guy is, the main kid is he plays Eric, is a guy called Jade Caligari.
Is this the guy in the wheelchair?
Yes. Yeah. It's his only film appearance. Yes. Never worked again in this town after that. And he was nominated for a Youth in Film Award for Best Young Actor in a Motion Picture or Fantasy. Yeah. He was nominated, but he lost to the two Coreys, Corey Feldman and Corey
Both
Haim,
of them.
For License to Drive.
Classic.
So, he never had a chance. Yeah. Another major character in this film is McDonald's. It's called Mac and Me, like Big Mac, but apparently that was just a coincidence. And a lot of people have accused McDonald's of paying for the film and just making it an ad. There's so much product placement in there. It's a real big feature. If you ever play this as a drinking game, you can just literally drink every time you see a product placement, and you will be drunk by minute 8.
Yeah, there's Macca's, Coke, Skittles,
Sears.
Yeah.
is a big character in the movie too. McDonald's said that they didn't finance the film. However, they did get financing from Golden State Foods. Now, Golden State Foods supplies things to McDonald's, notably Big Mac sauce. They're the only supplier of Big Mac sauce. And their only client is McDonald's. So there was a whole profit-sharing thing with Ronald McDonald House where any profits would be shared with a charity, which is great. The film never even came close to breaking even. So
did the charity have to pay up?
I think so. I think that they owe Orion a whole bunch of money. McDonald said that they did not want Ronald McDonald in the movie.
Yeah.
And not only...
So can we say when he's in the film?
Yes. Well, why don't you describe when he's in the movie?
I just suddenly walked in from the garage and he was breakdancing with an alien.
Yes.
That's about as much as I can explain that. Is that right?
Yeah, there is a weird scene where a dance competition happens in a McDonald's, and Ronald McDonald is there doing magic tricks for a birthday party. And they got the real Ronald McDonald at the time, like the guy that was in the ads, the official one.
Right.
He was also nominated and won a Razzie for Worst Actor. Not as Squire Friedel, which is the guy's name, but as Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
His character won a Worst Actor award. So the design of the aliens, I would like you to see if you can describe what the aliens look like.
Cross between Yoda and John Howard.
Okay, good. I'm very surprised that you didn't use the word testicles in any of that.
Well, very similar, those two things.
I also used the word Yoda. I said cross between a hairless Yoda and a newborn bird.
Yes. Again, the similarities between a newborn bird and John Howard, if you put them in a police lineup, you wouldn't know the difference.
And I'm not sure if you noticed this because you were in and out a lot, but a lot of the time they use the back of Mac's head, just to be in shot, like to dirty up the frame. And it has a bum crease in it. I'm not sure why, but that is really distracting. And once you see that, you can never unsee it. So they've got like huge eyes and a mouth that's always in like a whistling position.
Yeah.
And so they always look really surprised. And they make this constant whistling noise throughout the whole film. So it sounds like you're listening to the cricket on AM radio.
Yes.
Through the whole thing. It's so annoying.
I must say, I got so bored that I was listening to the cricket on AM radio.
You wouldn't know the difference anyway. So finally, we're going to get to the plot. Now, I was just writing notes as I went through this movie. So this is just the diary of a slowly maddening person.
Good.
So, a family of aliens gets vacuumed into a NASA space probe, which takes them back to Earth, and it is 6 minutes before anyone speaks. Did you know that? There's no dialogue for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So they get taken back to Earth, they escape, they're surrounded by soldiers with guns, but some idiot, and this is a theme, keeps saying, "Hold your fire!" And then the aliens just walk out of the base. So no one actually tries to stop them. It's ridiculous. So Mac, the baby one, is separated from his family, and they then have to wander through the desert in a series of long and uncomfortable montages. And they're naked the whole time. And do you remember that image of naked Monty Burns?
Yes.
That's what they look like.
Yes.
Except no genitals.
Yes.
Right, so Mac hides in the back of the van, of a passing van, with Eric, Mike, and their two brothers and their mother, who I can't remember her name. They're travelling across the country after something happened to their dad. Do you know what that was?
No.
He's just in a photo, but he's not in the movie. So either, I don't know if he left them or if they died, if the kid did something and that's why he's in a wheelchair. I've got no idea, but somehow the dad's not there. So they move into this new house halfway across they're from Chicago, they move to California, they're finally there, they move into this new house, hijinks ensue because they can't see Mac, but Mac's causing havoc. So he messes up the house, Eric gets blamed for it, he's like, "I didn't do it." No one believes him, so he goes out the back.
No, that was for ages, no one believes him for so long. It's like a bloody 50-minute snuffleupagus story. And Eric is Big Bird.
Yes, and he's furious, so he goes outside to blow off some steam, and he sees like a ravine. Keep in mind he's in a wheelchair. This happens. Okay, Eric is rolling down a hill. He's lost control. He falls off a goddamn cliff.
Wow. I did not see that bit. I must have been doing my
Are you serious?
throwing out my 2004 tax returns
Oh,
at that
man.
stage.
That was the best part.
I don't remember that.
Man, okay, so they wrote and then filmed throwing a child with spina bifida off a cliff. And then they did
he do
it.
his own stunt?
He did part of it. So the crew members took up positions either side of the track to slow him down as he went past, until like they hid behind bushes and stuff. And the director actually subbed in for him in certain parts of it as well. And then they threw a dummy off the cliff. He doesn't die. Mac, who's actually down the bottom of the ravine, helps him out of the water, but no one sees him. His mother thinks it's an attempted suicide because they wouldn't believe him. Right. So she calls the doctor and the paramedics. The doctor comes to Eric's room and then gives Eric some sedatives.
Right.
Without the mum in the room.
Yeah.
It seems like so dodgy. I don't think he's a doctor. So more hijinks. Matt gets in a motorized car. You know, like rich kids used to have those cars that you ride around in. He gets in one and he's chased by dogs on the road.
Yeah.
And then the dogs round a corner and some of them slip over and this white dust gets kicked up because they put talcum powder over the road. So interestingly, I looked at the end of the credits for one of those American humane messages. No animals were harmed in the making of the film. This film doesn't have one.
Right. It's the Milo and Otis of alien films.
Yep. Then there's a really cute bit where this happens.
Hello? Yeah, he's ready. Okay, bye-bye. Eric, it was Debbie. She's on her way. You ready? Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember people calling you and having to speak to your mum and just
Yes.
the 80s phone calls?
I remember we had two phones, one in the bedroom and one in the kitchen, I think. And my dad would pick up the phone whenever I was talking to anyone and just start dialing. So your phone call would just be interrupted by...
Oh, rotary phone.
Rotary phone, yeah. Hello? Scott, is that you?
Did you ever date people with a landline? Like when you're on a landline? And you have to like lie in the hallway and everyone have to step over you because you're talking on the phone for hours?
Yes, very awkward. Well,
Oh my God, you
used to
never dated?
No, I did. Oh.
So that was just a bit that kind of like brought back a bit of nostalgia. It's probably the best bit of the movie, apart from throwing the disabled kid off a cliff. So what that phone call was to say that Debbie next door is coming over to pick him up and take him to the party at McDonald's.
Right.
So this is...
and suddenly, in the middle of the film, it's like an interval and it becomes a McDonald's commercial, basically.
Yeah, as if the whole thing wasn't a McDonald's commercial. Yeah. Interesting fact, a real-life McDonald's was built for this one scene.
Why?
For the movie.
They couldn't use another one?
Nah.
There are hundreds of them.
I know, but this one never served a single customer. It was built specifically to the code that McDonald's wanted. And it was torn down and then rebuilt in 2006, and it's still never been used.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
This is crazy.
These are facts.
Why?
And it doesn't serve hamburgers.
What are you talking about?
I didn't do it. Stop yelling at me.
Insane, but you're talking rubbish. They built a McDonald's for Mac and me, never served a burger in it, knocked it down and rebuilt it, and still to this day have not sold a burger in it. Why? Tell me.
I don't know. I can't help you.
This makes no sense.
Yes. Good. You'll love this movie if you don't like the things making sense. This scene starts off pretty subtly. I don't know if you saw this, but Jennifer Aniston is an extra in it.
I did not notice that.
Her older brother was like an assistant director or, something like that.
Right.
And so she's in it somewhere, and we think it's here. But, it's all so blurry and stuff nowadays. No one really knows. I don't know if you've ever seen the young pictures of Jennifer Aniston, but she has a different nose as well, so it's hard to tell.
You sounded slightly creepy when you were saying that. It might be where your hand was.
So they go inside. Ronald goddamn McDonald is in there doing magic tricks for kids.
Yeah. Do you know who the first Ronald McDonald was?
No.
The very first Ronald McDonald.
Was it Gary?
What?
I don't know. What?
Willard Scott. Remember Willard Scott from the Today Show? The weatherman. The wacky weatherman.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Move on.
Okay. Yeah, so the real Ronald McDonald is there, and he has a couple of lines. Here's what he says.
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
That's it. That's
the audio in that scene was awful.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. But I don't know if you heard that, but he says, "How you going, kid?" to Eric in the wheelchair. And Eric says, "It's going." And he seems so unimpressed that Ronald McDonald is talking to him. So Ronald McDonald runs off, and then he's in a few cutaways of like when the dance scene happens, but he doesn't really do anything else in the movie. So someone in the background says, "Oh, the dance contest is starting," and a literal dance contest breaks out involving every teen archetype in America. There's African American break dancers. There's American football players in full uniform. For some reason, McDonald's employees, every extra from Saved by the Bell, and my favourite, the ballerinas. Now, if you look there, the ballerinas start at a table in the wide shot, pretty close to the middle, but every time they cut back to that wide shot, they need more space for more dancers. Right. And the ballerinas keep their table just keeps getting moved to the side of the screen, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and they're just standing up, just hogging the side of the stage with their resting bitch face. Because it's a flash mob, so you have to look bored until it's your turn.
Right.
That's
was this world's first flash mob?
It kind of was, I think, because everyone in that's sitting in the restaurant is part of it.
Yeah,
that's what I hate about flash mobs. You go, Grand Central Station, but everyone there was part of it. So what's public about that? Everyone is like, people are like, "Oh my God," and they look and they point and taking pictures, and then you see them dancing in the next. I really don't like flash mobs.
Do they still do flash mobs?
I hope not.
Yeah.
So Mac is dressed as a teddy bear at this point because they had to smuggle him in.
Right.
Does that make sense to you? Ringing some bells?
I do remember a dancing bear.
Yeah. So at some point he floats and spins because they obviously couldn't figure out how to make him walk like that onto the counter of the McDonald's.
Yes.
And he dances in front of all the McDonald's employees in clear violation of a whole bunch of health and safety rules, duty of care, and most notably hygiene procedures. The whole dance sequence, much like this segment, goes on for far too long. It's 4 and a bit minutes. And as it's a dance sequence, it's a slap in the face for the star of the movie who's in a wheelchair.
It is one of the weirdest scenes I've ever seen. It's like you're watching an alien movie and suddenly, from dusk till dawn, it's that.
Yeah,
so what the hell is going on here? It's suddenly turned into Grease 2.
Yeah. So the government agents who have been chasing them, I haven't mentioned them this far because they don't do anything. But they go to find them. There's a dance party happening. Eric heads for and loses control on a downhill slope because he's in a wheelchair. This makes it the 3rd time he's lost control on a downhill slope.
Wow, somebody needs to buckle him into that wheelchair.
All right, so the kids escape that. They go on a road trip to find Mac's family, during which time they have this conversation.
It's the straws! That's it! We must be getting closer! Bummer, I thought it was going to be a spaceship. You never know, there still could be one.
There's not. I don't know why they said. I think that even then they were getting bored with them. Like, well, we have people are going to walk out unless we promise them a spaceship at some point. And there's not a spaceship in this movie.
It's like they were writing each scene as they finished recording the last one,
Yes.
and they had no idea what the end of the film was going to be.
So they end up at a mine shaft. Where the family has kind of ended up, the alien family.
As you do.
Eric, who's obviously in a wheelchair, can't go down a mine shaft. Cut to Eric in a mine shaft. They find this dying family. So Mike, the older brother, checks for signs of life by touching one of them on the eyeball.
Right.
And then he flinches and they're like, "Oh, they're alive." So this is where the movie should end. They should all, hold hands, beam up and piss up. But nope, this is where stuff starts to get a little bit silly. I don't know if I'm on board after this point. So the alien family end up in a supermarket where they start to go shopping. Somehow the alien dad gets a gun. He just kind of takes it off.
They have them in supermarkets in the US, right?
Yeah, I think so. The cops arrive, and once again, the aliens simply walk past them to get away.
Yeah.
Eric goes after them in his wheelchair to try and stop them and get them to turn around and not get shot. An officer goes after him. He trips, he hits the deck, and his gun goes off. That starts a shootout between the aliens and the police, which ends up in an improbably large explosion that kills Eric. Did you see this?
I remember an explosion, yeah.
It was a stupidly large explosion. I think that they were shooting out in front of like barbecues galore or something because it's massive.
Gee.
Okay, that's full and intense, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the original edit, right? The Japanese version was released with a different edit. I'm only going to play the last bit of it.
They don't know how to drive anyway.
Stop him!
Oh, well, that's confronting.
Wow, right? So describe what happens there.
He gets shot.
Yeah.
Through the chest.
Yeah, so the officer that trips in the American edit trips and his gun goes off. In the Japanese edit, he actually shoots Eric the boy in the wheelchair in the back, and the bullet comes out of the chest, and you see it all, and that's why Eric's lifeless body just rolls towards the explosion.
Wow, rough.
I couldn't believe it. You can
And
YouTube that.
this was a Cotties film. Remember when you used to get your little films with the Cotties? That's not Cotties material.
It's nuts, right? So Eric is pronounced dead. Then out of the flames, the aliens come, and surprise, surprise, they know how to cure either being 2 meters from an explosion or being shot in the chest if you're Japanese. They put their hands over him and they cure him, and it's amazing. It's a real tear-jerking moment. It's stolen straight from E.T., as most of these things have been done badly. Now, if you were being cured, brought back to life, and you were in a wheelchair before that, would you kind of, I mean, I guess expect is a big word, but would you expect your spina bifida to be cured too?
If I was in a wheelchair and died,
yes,
and was brought back to life by aliens,
yes,
is this what you're asking
aliens
me?
with unlimited power.
Yes, I would expect to be cured from spina bifida.
Well, sucked in Eric, because he still has spina bifida at this point. They bring him back to the wheelchair.
Harsh.
Because the actor actually had spina bifida, and so, I mean, you saw Mac trying to animate Mac walking.
Yes.
It was pretty clumsy. Of course, they had been living on a diet of Maccas and Coke for the past week, so they probably weren't in the best physical tip-top condition themselves. So Eric is dead for 5.5 minutes. So sometimes when, like, the kiss of life brings someone back to life in a fairy story, it's like 30 seconds to a minute max.
Yeah.
This is it. They drag. He's dead for 5.5 minutes. That's a minute longer than the entire dance sequence, right? And if you add them together, that's 10 minutes. It's a 100-minute film. That's 10% of this movie that the main character is either dead or forced to watch other people dancing while he's in a wheelchair. So everyone is supposed to live happily ever after. We obviously need some kind of epilogue.
Yeah, what do they become, citizens at the end?
Yeah. It's such a long, boring speech. And it ends with, if you agree to all the above, please state so by saying, I do. And everyone else who's being a citizen says, I do. And the aliens don't. Because they don't speak English. They have no idea what's going on. And all they can do is whistle. But they don't even whistle. They don't even, like... They just like, nah, I'm going to straight to compo. I'm going to work illegally. So then the aliens get into a pink Cadillac and drive off with the 2 youngest humans in the back of the car as well. Because surely an alien learns to drive and you're like, yeah, you can take my kids. And some text comes up on the screen in a bubble, which Mac has learnt to blow, that says, we'll be back.
We'll be back. So that was setting up for a sequel?
Yes, a
Mac
sequel.
And Me Too?
Yeah. Mac and hashtag Me Too. It never happened, obviously, because no one saw the movie. But the producer, R.J. Lewis, said in 2017, only 2 years ago, that he still wouldn't rule out a sequel.
Hanging on, just waiting. He's knocking at the studio door every day. I'm here. If you want. He's like Daryl Summers at the Channel 9 door.
Mac and
if
3?
you want another Hey Sunday reunion, I'm always here.
And so in all of this, and I researched a bunch of documents and saw a lot of videos and podcasts on this. There's no mention, no one ever talks about the special effects, like how they, sucked him into a vacuum cleaner and how they got the face to move and the animatronics and how
special effects are quite good, I must say.
Yeah, but no one cares because that's the least talkable thing in this is 1998 and we had no special effects in this, but it's such a bad movie. And there it is. I've watched it, so you never have to.
No, I did. You put me through it, and I'm angry for you, and I'll never forgive you. I'm looking into the story.
No context.
Behind the chicken dance or the birdie dance.
Yeah, right. So I think I'm a birdie dance guy.
Yeah, I'm a birdie dance guy. Yeah, I call it the birdie dance.
Okay.
Yeah, but as we'll find out, it's got multiple names. It's basically an umpa song that fills the world with joy.
Correct. Yes. Both of those are facts.
Yes. Our story starts many years ago in the town of Davos, I'm not sure which.
Davos,
in Davos, Switzerland. In the 1950s, a local accordion player by the name Werner Thomas would travel around playing his accordion at Swiss holiday resorts.
Of course.
And he says the tune of the chicken dance or the birdie dance first popped into his head fully formed.
Wow.
In 1955.
So which came first?
Really annoying gift from the gods straight into his head.
Take that.
Yes. So in the early 60s, Werner Thomas began regularly performing the song at his restaurant. So if you went in for a schnitty, you get a schnitty and a bit of this. He'd just walk out. Yeah. Excuse me, I've been waiting an hour for my schnitzel.
I have to keep playing this. We have many customers.
Oh, there we go.
Do you think they only did it like if it was your birthday? You know how sometimes they sing you happy birthday?
Yes, but no, he only knew the one song.
That's why I had to stop travelling around to festivals.
That's right. So he says he got an immediate reaction and people spontaneously began to move to the melody, move outside to the car park, presumably. So soon after that, he came up with a dance. He designed a little dance for it. And believe it or not, the original dance is not the one that you know.
Oh, really?
No, it's one that he was inspired to come up with a dance based on skiers, because he spent a lot of time
in the ski resorts.
Ski resorts. So he designed a dance that was imitating the skiers as they, moved around, and he recognised that their gestures reminded him of flapping wings and waiting feet.
Okay.
So he adapted the movements into a choreographed dance that he called the Ententanz, which is...
Spell that?
No. Which is Swiss for the duck dance.
Wow.
So it was based on the duck. Not the birdie. Doesn't that blow your mind?
My whole life is a lie.
Yeah. So it started to catch on first through Switzerland and then through Europe into the 60s. It soon became a popular drinking song at Oktoberfest in Germany, and Werner Thomas travelled the land with his popular song like an early day Lou Bega.
This was Mambo number one.
That's right. Mambo number one. Presumably making friends and seducing audience members everywhere with his sexy tune.
Absolutely.
The next big step, in 1972, during one of Werner Thomas's performances, a Belgian record producer, Louis van Richmenont, was having dinner at one of these ski resorts and almost choked on his Kartoffelpuffers when he heard the song. And Van Richmenont liked what he heard. So he signed him up. He said, "Oh, you're amazing." And he created a version for the synthesizer, and he called it Chip Chip. Here you go. Sounds like the theme song to a sitcom starring Ronnie Corbett, doesn't it?
It does. Now, you might have heard a dog barking in there too.
I can hear a dog barking.
That is my actual dog. That is not part of Dust Chip Chip Boogie.
So within a year, Chip Chip sold over 1 million copies in Europe.
Right.
It's massive.
That is huge.
So having taken Europe by storm, it migrated to America a few years later like a nasty stream of bird flu. And this happened after New York publisher Stanley Mills heard the song at a convention in Cannes.
Right.
And so he acquired the US publishing rights. He went, I'm going to have a piece of that pie.
Going to get Beyonce to do it.
So Stanley Mills hawked the song relentlessly. And in America, he called the song Dance Little Bird.
Oh, right.
A new name.
That's another one.
And this version that I'm about to play, you found fame on the album Hooked on Pokers.
That's the one.
You know that?
That's Old Faithful there.
There we go. And beautiful. And you're doing the moves already. You can't help yourself.
I've got my jam on.
So Mills said people started dancing to it at parties and the local dance bands began to play it. Poker groups would record it and sold it out of the back of their trucks. So it went viral, basically.
Yeah.
Now, do you know how the name changed to the chicken dance, remembering that it was the duck dance? Do you know how the chicken part of the...
From memories in the late 70s, there was a real backlash against ducks. No, I've got no idea. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you the story.
Please.
All right. Sit down, relax.
Put my feet up.
So this is tracked back to Tulsa in Oklahoma. 1981 is the year, the Tulsa Oktoberfest.
I wasn't far off.
A German band decided to play Dance Little Bird and teach the crowd how to do Werner Thomas's duck dance, duck ski dance. And so the event organisers scoured the Tulsa area in search of a duck costume before the party got started. But no duck outfits could be found anywhere. They must have had a duck convention on.
I don't know if I've ever seen a duck outfit.
You know, like they could have found a Donald Duck outfit.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. I think I know what's coming.
So they couldn't find a duck outfit, but a local TV station was able to find and loan them a chicken suit.
Bam. There it is. Lightning in a bottle.
So from that day, it became known in the US as the Chicken Dance. Just as well they didn't lend them a gimp costume, otherwise it would be a very different one. So in 1981, another band called the Tweets released their version of the Birdie Dance, or the Birdie Song as they called it. And that last one we heard and this one were in the charts at the same time, battling it out. So in 1981 in the UK, this was at number 1, but there were 2 versions of the Birdie Dance, very similar to each other, in the charts at the same time.
That's amazing. Maybe that's the one I know. I don't know anymore. My whole world's crashing down around me.
Well, what a time to be alive, 1981.
Imagine that. In the countdown, coming to number 7, number 6. Oh, they're in different keys.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Battling it out. So since then, the song has become known internationally under numerous other names, including Danza des Canards, Baile de los Palajitos, and my favourite, Il Ballo del Quaqua. Over 140 versions.
Isn't Del Quaqua your rapper name?
Del Quaqua.
Yo, it's Del Quaqua.
Over 140 versions of the Birdie Dance have been recorded worldwide. Over 140.
That seems like not enough.
And over 40 million records have sold over the years. We should all be ashamed. So, is it okay with you if I play you a few versions just to show you the versatility of the wonder of the Birdie Dance?
Do I have a choice?
No.
Okay, here we go.
Starting with acoustic. Isn't that lovely?
This is restaurant music.
Pensive. Unplugged. It's like Eric Clapton.
Flamenco. It's the peacock dance.
Yes. Would you know my name if I dance like a chicken? With German lyrics.
Ja, wenn die Vögel gleich fröhlich tanzen und die Musik spielt noch dazu.
Techno. Do you think people are still listening to this podcast?
That would honestly go very sick on a dance floor. And there'd be all these people pinging off their heads, having the greatest time of their lives.
Awesome, actually doing the moves.
Yeah.
All right, heavy metal.
Wow.
In 1989, it was sampled on, I don't know if you remember this, this was a minor hit in 1989, Check Out the Chicken by Grandmaster Chicken and DJ Duck. Does that ring a bell?
The chicken. Check out the chicken. Check out.
Remember? No?
Not really.
And lastly, the natural conclusion in 2008, Hampton and the Hamsters.
The Hamsters aren't doing any of that. They're not adding to the music. They're just like, whooing in the background. Is that all they do?
That is all they do. And that there, the Birdie Dance died. So there were versions with lyrics over the years. There was a couple of common lyrics. I'll just sing along with the acoustic version so you can hear. With a little bit of this and a little bit of that and shake your bum. I don't want to be a chicken, I don't want to be a duck, so I shake my butt. Quack, 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 quack.
Your butt crack? That's what you say.
All right, do you know how to do it? For those listening that don't know how to do the Birdie Dance.
So what is it? It's because there's... Okay, I'm going to guess, and you tell me if I'm right. So it's flap the arms.
Yeah.
And then shake your bum. No, that's the end.
No. Well, let's ask Lawrence... this is Lawrence Welk from the Lawrence Welk Show from the late 70s.
I didn't realize you had an expert on.
Yeah, we do.
Here's how to do it. Everybody stand up at home and join us. You make the beaks,
Of course.
wings, tail feathers, and 4 claps. Do that again. Beaks, wings, tail feathers, and 4 claps.
I feel so stupid. Of
Next,
course it is.
link elbows and turn in a circle.
Oh, yeah.
Like this.
There we go. Thanks, Lawrence. This instructor teaching a bunch of pensioners distills that to its essence.
Cheep, cheep, cheep. Flap, flap, flap. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Flap, flap, flap.
Let's put that into action.
Cheep, cheep, cheep. And flap, flap, flap. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. With a clap, clap. Cheep, cheep, cheep. Flap, flap, flap. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. With a clap, clap, clap.
What pensioner doesn't know how to do the Birdie Dance?
What pensioner is taking lessons
Yeah.
in the Birdie Dance?
Slow down. I've never come across this in my life.
So that's it. That's the chicken dance, part of our social fabric.
Now, the next time it comes on at a blue light disco that you're attending, you can be like, actually, I know some facts about this and ruin the party.
The last segment for this week, Jace, I've been looking forward to this. We have been talking it up for a while. It's called Celebrity Poetry with Barry White's Love Unlimited Orchestra.
Okay, and it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Absolutely.
Can I start?
Have you read this poem before?
No.
I've just given you a poem.
You've given me a poem, and I also haven't heard the Barry White.
All right. Basically, the way it works, I play some Barry White music.
Yep.
And you read the poem. The poet is Charlie Sheen.
Okay, this song is called ID Blues. Do I say it like that? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Okay. Excuse me, aren't you? Hey, you look just like... Oh my god, that's... Sorry to interrupt your dinner, but aren't you... Look, I never do this, but my wife thinks you're... My little friend is so convinced that you're... I'm so embarrassed, but aren't you? I know you must be tired of this, but... Wait! All eyes held in stare, all mouths locked open in shock as he pulled the latex Charlie Sheen from his head, revealing the rotted skull of President Lincoln. Oh,
That's it. That's how this segment works.
Okay, all right. I'm into it.
So I'm doing James Franco, wonderful poet
yes.
and actor, James Franco. Born to Die. My little apartment in Los Feliz, said to once be owned by Charlie Chaplin. But you know, they say that about all the apartments in LA. I dream about Lana Del Rey. She dreams about Lana Del Rey. And is Lana Del Rey. A dream she created and then entered. Will she enter the dream forever? In my little apartment, I have my pot and my wigs and my makeup that I apply slowly in slow motion in my Marilyn mirror with the starlights, and Born to Die on repeat, and a tiger orange fire in the background in my little mind within my unsheathed head, shaved naked for now. I've entered the dream and killed reality. Nathaniel West's Hollywood painting was a raging Bosch-like conflagration full of his denizens on the outskirts. Out-of-work cowboys, extras, unfunny comedians, screaming, burning, fanning the flames as they bucked and sucked in every room of all the mansions in the Hollywood of the mind.
You proud of yourself, Scotty? That was your idea, wasn't it?
It went all right.
That was pretty good. We'll see. Why don't you tell us, dear listener, not you, I was looking right to your eyes.
Looking at me, okay.
Why, if you enjoyed it or did not enjoy it, why don't you let us know?
Are you talking to me or the listener?
No, the listener.
Okay, sorry.
You can go to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram to do that at Retroordinaire, and you can just let us know.
I might do that.
No, not you.
Oh, Scott! Okay, thank you for listening, everybody. If you've enjoyed this podcast,
Yes.
please go to iTunes and give us a decent review.
That'd be nice.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Feel free to communicate with us on those things that Jason just said.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. I've had fun. Hope you have too, Jason.
Are you talking to me?
I am doing you.
I've had one amount of fun.